G'day everyone, it's Toby here from Full Time Media, and today I've got with me a very special guest. He's a professional MMA fighter with a record of 8-2. He's represented Australia in the Commonwealth Games. He's the owner of the best gym in Canberra. It's the Duke of Canberra, Duke Didier. Duke, how you
Good
doing?
intro, Toby. Thank you, mate. That's fantastic.
Not a problem, man. Yeah, interesting dude, and I'm very excited to have you on. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, bro. Looking forward to it.
So how are you doing? How you been going?
Going good, man. Going good. So I've got a match on Fusion coming up. That's in a month. That's at 100. I stupidly said yes to competing at 105 kilos. Which means that I'm a little bit fat. So I'm just losing a little bit of weight. And just getting over a couple of little niggling injuries, nothing too catastrophic, just a couple of muscle tears. So it's just really good to be back on the mats doing what I love, and I really enjoy it. And I always feel like I'm the best version of myself when I'm like this. So I'm in a pretty good space, really enjoying it, and just looking forward to getting back into the competitions and trying to tie a few fun things together for the next few months.
Yeah, and so you're fighting on Fusion coming up. You fought on Fusion about 12 months ago, and was that at a different weight class, or was that at the same weight?
That was for the 100 kilo belt.
Yeah.
And I was going to do 100 kilos again, and both possibly combat jiu-jitsu. However, ADCC trials are the month at the 1 week after Fusion. And I just wanted to keep my options open. And if I compete at ADCC, it'll be over 99. So I don't want to be cutting down to 100 kilos when I'm going to be possibly competing against absolute monsters at the trials. So I just want to make sure I'm reasonably big and strong. So I said I was happy to compete a week out from trials, but it probably needed to be at 105. Even now, I'm kicking myself to saying 105. I should have said 110, and I could be eating all the foods right now. I'm eating some pretty boring chicken and rice, but
That's something I know about you is you do enjoy your barbecues and whatnot, and you're a little bit miserable when you're weight cutting.
100%. No, spot on, Tobes. I had a good fun with meat stock with a few of the boys down there in Melbourne, and as soon as I came back, I weighed myself, and I was far too heavy to be doing any more barbecuing on the weekend. So we're just taking it easy, lean meat only for the next month, and then we'll go back to making some mad stuff out of meat.
How much weight you gaining? Because you were like still in kind of a training camp when you were down for meat stock or down in Melbourne training with the boys. How much weight you gaining there?
Yeah, well, I was probably the heaviest I've ever been. I was about 116, and I came home from meat stock 170, which is really big for me. Too big even. Like I don't want to be that way. It's not manageable for my cardio system. So I've got bad cardio at the best of times. So I need to be able to get my body down a little lighter, so I'm not carting around too much weight. So if I'm sitting at a 110, hunky dory, I can compete at that. Even 105 would be nice to be running around at after the trials, but 110 is where I want it to be. I'm down to 100, and I think I was 112, 113 this morning. So we're on track. It's nothing we haven't done before, and I've never missed weight in my life, but it just means being aware of it and not getting carried away with all the foods and all the fun.
And when you were down in Melbourne, you weren't just there for meat stock, right? You were there training with the boys. So John and McAuliffe and Jimmy Crude, I think I saw in your photos.
Yeah, 100%. So we're all at the same gym down there, Australian Elite Team.
Yeah.
I've been training there for I think over 10 years. So when I was living there, I was training there full time along with my home gym Resilience Training Center, which is an affiliation of AET, and then I was also training at AET multiple times a week. But then before that, even I used to drive down to train in Melbourne, and one of the first stops was always at AET. So I always got plenty of rounds in, and it's an amazing room, and it's absolutely heaving right now because there's this awesome mix of high level grapplers, high level MMA fighters. I think in the photo I took, I mean, there was a list of, it was like 4 UFC fighters, 1 former UFC fighter, 2 ONE FC fighters, a UFC BJJ athlete, like Pan Pacific champions coming out the ears of the place. So it's a testament to what they've built down there, and I'm so glad that we're a part of it here in Canberra as an affiliation. But Australian Elite Team's definitely definitely built something special with that headquarters down there, and it's my first. It's the first stop from the airport. It's in Tavarim, so I normally get off the plane, and that's the first place I go to, and I absolutely love it. It's like I'm coming home every time I go there.
And with all that experience and everything, it's not just the fighters, it's the coaches and that are a really good important part of that too, right?
100%.
And
So
y
the class I get to go to is actually like on a Thursday is a master's class, which is sort of it's expected all the affiliation heads try and get to that class from Melbourne, all the local ones. So it's actually a room full of coaches,
Mhm.
if that makes sense, plus all the elite fighters, and then obviously overseen by the head coach Ninos. Uh, and so it's awesome to go down there and obviously share so much knowledge. If you've got a question about MMA or grappling, it'll definitely get answered that day in that room. And it's just a melting pot of talent, and a lot of very smart coaches, and really good people. So I try and get down there as much as I can. To be honest, I was down there last Thursday. I'll be down there again in a week or two. So
Yep,
I'm in a good position now where I can take a bit of time off from my own gym for a day or two and nip down there. And it only makes me better as an athlete and also as a coach.
correct. It grows
Sharing
you and the
that.
team, right?
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, 100% getting a jump on the mats with my old training partners and some of the boys there is not just valuable to me, but it's good fun too. I miss them all. That was the hardest thing about leaving was leaving my training partners and my mates that I'd made down there and developed. I was down there for 5 years, so it was a long time to be sort of established in a place. And I don't regret coming home for a second. The best thing I've ever done in my life was open progression, but I do miss that camaraderie that I have with so many elite people on the same path.
Yep.
The fact that you see so many of these between the Australian elite team and resilience, there's a lot of daytime sessions, and it's just something that I've struggled to replicate here, just because everyone's got to have a job. So, which is I I joke about asking the fighters to quit their jobs, but honestly, it's not smart. You got to do you. Even when I, went all in and quit my full time job to compete, I feel so many sleepless nights and so many days questioning what I've done.
Yeah, it's
Especially
such a
when
big leap. It's such
it's
a
a
big
huge
y
leap, and you
yeah,
go from the comfort of a full time job with a full time income. And I mean, I was always, as a university graduate, and always had a reasonable job. So I was always in a good position to go from that to living week to week, or sometimes not even week to week. Was a big adjustment, but it made me who I was. It also something as small as an injury can really derail things, because if you go all in on one thing and that thing gets taken away, you feel pretty worthless. So
yeah, it's very
um,
taxing on the body, but then you're very dependent on your body to be, yeah, operating.
100%. And then, yeah, you just always question yourself. So I'm glad it all worked out in my eyes, and I'm glad it sort of everything made sense and everything happened for a reason. Because I really haven't looked back, and it was the best 5 years. It was the best 5 years of training that I ever had, really,
Yeah.
and such a really important 5 years of my life that has led to some of the best years of my life, hands down. Now here with progression.
Yeah, and it's helped with, like, your networking and things like that. Because, like you said, you're going down there still, and some of them, they're coming up to your gym and that and helping you out every now and then too, right?
Yeah, my doors are always open. I love visitors. I love when people come up. I've had so many, awesome friends come all the way up from Melbourne, come to visit. I've had people come down from Sydney and Wollongong and everywhere. Everyone comes in and comes sort of. It's my doors are open, and it'd be cool if a few people want to move here, but that's all right. I'll just I'll just build it myself here. There's some fighters, but um, yeah. It's always really special when I get to see my friends there and also get to share with them what I built here. Because a lot of them, whilst they see it, on social media and things, they don't really get their head around it until you walk in the place. Former member Toby, it's a pretty special place, and
Yeah,
it's pretty hard to replicate. So
absolutely. I've never seen anything like it. Like, it was just such a fun, yeah, time that both Aim, my partner, and I had, and Yeah, love that gym. And
Thanks, mate.
you have these fighters like Jimmy, like Amy and I went to train, and Jimmy Crute's there doing flips on the mat and stuff. And it's just such a surreal thing, just being such a big MMA fan. And then like John M. McAuliffe, he was coming in before he was even in the UFC. So
Yeah, yeah. So with Jono, Jono is lucky. He's got family up here, so we get to sit. We get graced with his presence.
yeah.
I love that bloke. He came to the last DOC as well. He's a legend. I've shared the mats with him for so long.
Mhm.
We're on the grind, and it's every day that I see him killing it. It just makes me smile ear to ear. The guy deserves it. No one more deserving. And Big Jimmy, he's a legend. He'd get in the van and drive up here. And he knows that I'm always here for him. So if he, whenever he wants to come hang out, it's the same goes the other way. So
Yeah.
I love when my mates come to visit, even though
And so how
sometimes it's a later night in the pub than it's supposed to be. But hey, it's still good to see him.
he, when I did see him, he did say you were trouble. So I assume he
Not me,
like.
that's him. Yeah, that's not me.
And how much credit you take him for his UFC run?
Mate, I was the one that did his knee the first time, so I don't know. Maybe the opposite. We had a really good room. We had a really strong room, and if I've seen, I get some memories pop up of our old training room at Resilience and at AET. It's just the amount of talent on the mats just in one room was just it's sort of mind boggling that everyone was just in there now, especially seeing the way some people have blossomed and grown into where they are now overseas. So like that especially during COVID when we sort of only had each other to train with, it created some special bonds. And it's still like I'm still here. I've got friends from that room that are in the UFC, the road to UFC. They've been on Contender. They're in the PFL, and I'm here just cheering for them all. So it's the best. I'm so glad that we all got so much out of that experience. But yeah, in regards to how much I helped Jimmy, well, I was just trying to be the best training partner I could. But he's one of the fucking strongest grapplers. Like people don't realize how good at jujitsu he is, along with the striking and MMA. He's a fucking absolute animal. So sharing the mats with him every day wasn't good for the old. It wasn't good for the old back, but yeah, it was very special. And I think sharing that room with them helped me grow more than I probably helped them, man. So it was just an absolute honor.
Like you said, the talent from that area is just growing and going elsewhere overseas and things like that. Are you starting to see that replicate with your gym? Like I've got the progression shirt on now. Like, are you seeing that that sort of replicate with you and your team?
That's the dream, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the dream. I was very lucky when we opened the gym. Uh, we had Patrick Hill and Tom Pratt come straight across from their existing gym, and they were both very close to me, so it was sort of a natural step for them. And that first year was pretty cool, and we were on the road with both those guys, and they were both winning everywhere we went. So um, the end goal always should be for any fighter to be fighting overseas. And I don't think any fighter should count themselves out or dismiss it, no matter how late they start. You should set the goals as high as you can. You should. I don't know what's the way the saying goes. If you aim for the stars and hit the moon or something like that. So
Yeah. If you shoot
basically,
for the stars, you
if you
don't
shoot
land
for
it.
the stars and you aim up here, but you end up here, here is still a lot higher than everyone else. So
Exactly. Like
I
you
think
use
you should,
Hilly as
yeah.
an example, right? So he's fought in Perth. He's gone over, fought in New Zealand and stuff as well. Like he's already doing the thing.
100%. And I mean, that's the thing. And Patrick understands that like now's the time to strike. That's why he's been so active because he's been through periods where he found it hard to get a fight or found it niggling injuries and pull out. So the fact that he's been able to put this run of fights together hasn't been lost on him. That's why he's doing everything he can strike while the iron's hot and make
Yeah.
the most of the opportunities that present himself to him. And if that means, he took a fight to New Zealand on 5 weeks' notice. Next thing you know, we're over in Auckland on a Fighting City kickboxing, that kind of thing. It's really important that if things pop up, you have to be prepared for the unexpected. I mean, I don't want to make it about my own career, but I mean, my one championship opportunity came on a week's notice on an Instagram message. And I mean, if you're not prepared to fucking pack your bags and fucking do it and go and fucking take on whatever you got to take on, then it's probably the wrong sport for you, because it's not like rugby and it's not like football where everything's planned and selected and it's all lineal steps and everything.
Mhm.
MMA is unpredictable, just like the sport itself. So the actual business of MMA can be just as unpredictable. So you have to be prepared for anything, and if those things pop up, fucking grab it with both hands.
Yeah, and he's got an opportunity at the moment, Paddy, with a fight coming up on Hex. That's at the back
Yeah.
end of this month. So, how are you going with you and your team's prep for that? Is there anyone else fighting on like the road to Hex or anything like that as well?
No one on the road to Hex, but we've got Jackson Donnelly the next day in Adelaide on
Yeah.
Diamondback Fighting Championships. So I'll be on a plane Friday. Coach Hilly and me and Hilly will both go over and coach Jackson after that. So preparations have been really good. I just spoke to the boys then. They're on their way to Wollongong to go and train at freestyle. Um, Joey Lopez and the crew there have been absolutely amazing about welcoming those guys in. I mean, they couldn't find a better spot for a bantamweight and a lightweight to go and train when you've got Volk and Colby and Kasib and all those guys all there sharing the mats, and whoever else comes to train with them. So I wouldn't be um I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
even Ben
passing you that
London and stuff
opportunity.
like that's there as well.
Yeah, Justin's there, and man, they've got a room jack full of talent. And they're as much as they're talented, they're that good of blokes as well. So they're all um, they're all legends. So there couldn't be a better place for them to go jump in the car and drive 2 hours up there. Hilly's family has a holiday house up there, so he's not sleeping in a tent. So that's why I said the more you're up there sharing the mats with one of the greatest fighters to ever do it, let alone from Australia, let alone 2 hours away. Man, go do it. Go
Yeah,
jump there.
and it's helping you too, right? Because he's coming back, all that knowledge and experience. He's coming in and coaching your guys.
100%. And the boys aren't getting as bashed because it's just they're going up there and they're going up there for their sparring instead of running through the amateur team. No, I'm just
Yeah,
joking. But it's no, it is really good. It's really good. So I absolutely love it that they've got that opportunity. So it's very grateful to those guys for letting them in. And then yeah, like I said, we've got Patrick, he's fighting Sean Alexander, who was one of
yep.
the people in the room that I spoke about earlier. He was from my old gym. So and he's coached by Sean Gouch, another guy from that room.
Mhm.
So it's from
That
Ignite.
that's a
But
tough one, right? Because you get along with Sean Gauci. He's over at
yeah, I
PFL.
love
He's won
Shawnee.
fought at PFL, and yeah, so your team against his team, bit of banter
Well,
there.
if he, uh, if he gets in my face, no, no, I love Shawnee. So no, it's good, man. There's that many good bantamweights out there that it was
Mhm.
probably only a matter of time before they cross paths. So, Hex have put them on. So yeah, again, this is the opportunities that come, and
Yep.
it's all about who's staying active and who has a winning streak. I've never seen so many opportunities now to go get to fight in these big promotions
Yep.
with a direct entry to the UFC, road to UFC, contender. I think the Ultimate Fighter are doing bantamweights. I saw they've got one FC, PFL. There's more opportunities now than ever before with the way the sport's gone. So now's a good time to be a young prospect a young prospect pro MMA fighter, because it's all there if you can pull it off. It's all there for you.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely saw that because I remember Hilly telling me it was so hard for him to get a fight, and these guys like Kasib and Matty Ian and whatnot, they were all like looking for fights too. Like he had mentioned their names, and here they are at the top of Australian MMA and now fighting on road to UFC. So it's not that far from it. But he's also battled some adversity there as well. Like in the past year, a couple losses, and then
100%.
same with Jackson, who's fighting the day after. You were saying he's coming off his
Yeah.
first pro loss.
And it's always interesting, is to see how someone deals with a loss. With
Mhm.
Patrick, I wasn't concerned at all. Patrick's cut from the old school judo sort of cloth, where we've all won and lost many, many, many times. So a loss is, there's no way that a loss is going to derail anything. All
Yeah.
it's going to do is push you harder to come back stronger. Make the adjustments, come back, make sure it doesn't happen again. The second loss he had was that split decision in Perth.
Mm.
I don't know if you saw my tantrum in the cage, but I didn't agree with it. I thought he'd done enough, but anyway, is what it
I,
is.
uh, I just watched the replay, so yeah, I didn't watch your tantrum because, that was on my wedding night, so sorry, yeah, I
Okay,
missed that
no,
one.
no, no, it's good anyway. Yeah, no, I was in there. I was adamant he'd won 2 out of 3 rounds. But anyway, is what it is. And again, Jackson, his original opponent, which is Lewis Passin that he's fighting now. He was originally slated to fight him at DSC.
Mm.
Lewis got injured, so we only had I think 5 weeks notice, I think, and we were able to get Alex Torres
Yeah.
from Louis Strokes. They're absolute legends too. I mean, Rommel's come here to the gym, so those guys they're all legends. And then Alex was a very savvy, sort of very
His
savvy,
grappling is crazy.
very very experienced style of grappling where um, it was it was still similar. Like what someone might think is a fundamental error wasn't a fundamental error. He was setting traps and using tricks, and the Kimura trap he got him with was something that I hadn't seen in any of his other fights. So he's got a pretty loose style of grappling for MMA. I mean, he started the fight with a flying man. I saw him second his last fight. He did the same
Mm.
thing. And Jackson came out of that his stock went up from that fight, not
Mm.
down.
Yeah.
And he came out of that. He came out of that very. He came out of that fight with, I think, a lot more confidence, knowing that he is at the level he is, and even though that even though he eventually lost. So that first round was there was some moments there where it was about this close. So
Yeah.
credit to his opponent, obviously, for being tough as nails. But uh, I'm looking forward to seeing Jackson after that here in the next fight. Again, as a one-on-one pro, losses aren't going to kill you at this stage early in your career.
Yeah.
You've seen it so many times that if one loss is not really going to affect things as long as you can put them together now and learn from that. And he's a very quick learner. So
Yeah.
the short amount of time that I've had him, he's really developed into quite a good grappler as well as the power that he has. So I'm
Yeah,
looking
his
forward.
striking's already phenomenal, and then,
Yeah,
like,
he's
he'd
got
become to you for grappling, right?
very very good hands, and he's picking up all the fundamental grappling systems that I had really hammered into my guys. So for him, when he came in and he's adapted all of that, and he's on the mats with Patrick Hill every day, um, you can't get worse. You're only going to get better. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good couple of weeks. Um,
Yeah.
get the boys. They're all very hungry right now, but get them all on weight. And we go there and we have some fun. Two really nice, really well run shows. Hex is great, and Diamondback's really, really, really well run, and the production levels there. Craig's been always really, really good to deal with. So I like that. I like that. I I started my promotion, the Dynasty of Combat. I started that so I wouldn't be on the road so much. But if
Mhm.
I do go on the road, I want to be on for these sort of shows, and it's always good to be able to go and experience MMA interstate and some of these other regional shows.
Yeah, are you learning from the regional shows now that you have your own Dynasty of Combat? Are you looking to do that at the start of each year now? Once
Yeah,
again?
it'll be start of every year, and brother, I had the pen and paper out for years, so I don't know. Like obviously, yeah, you always pick things up, but it's the same with the gym. I had a pen and paper out asking questions when I knew deep down that I was going to do it, and I was putting the plans in motion. The same with the show. I spoke to the people that I know that had run them successfully. I sought advice from some people in the industry that I could trust and that were happy to help. Same with the gym. There's so many people, good people that want to see you do well and want to help, especially when They know my intentions are all good, and I'm just trying to build the sport when it comes to that show. So I was just continually asking questions, and also making a mental note of what I liked, and also what I don't like, and putting that together, and using my little my strange little brain and my marketing background, and putting a bit of flair on it, and this is where we go. Bob's your uncle. Here we are.
Yeah, what is the process like? Like, I've never spoken to a George Rose or anything like that. You're the George Rose of the, Canberra MMA. And what's it like running an event, and, what was that like?
Vince McMahon of MMA in Canberra. I like that. uh, uh, it's it's like the second show compared to the first show was so much easier to run.
Mhm.
It's obviously it's the fear of the unknown is one thing. Um, it's just a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of deadlines. If you hit the deadlines and you continually work through what you need to work through, then when things maybe don't go to plan, you still got a plan for in place. So the unpredictability of MMA means that you've got to be very fluid. You can't be rigid. You can't. Also, I've seen multiple shows where you see people running around stressed, and it just makes everyone else stressed. So you just got to be chilled and
Yeah.
relaxed. Even if you are a bit stressed, you've got
Your
to
outfit
not.
definitely determines that. You're walking around in
Yeah.
fires and
Well, that's the idea, and if I can keep it nice and chilled, and even for the weeks before, I make a real effort not to um, uh, like put that put that stress on. Like I just have to internalize that and deal with it myself. If I come and bring that into the gym when I got fighters getting ready to get on the same show,
yeah.
it's not going to do them any good, and they're not going to be able to help me. So there's no point coming in here and venting to fighters when they've got their own things on their plate. So it just deal with what you can deal with. Obviously there's a lot of red tape to run a show in Canberra. You have to deal with that as it comes. There's um there's a lot of hurdles dealing with you know 18 fighters from all over Australia. Things are going to happen, and you just have to protect. You have to be prepared for anything to happen, expect the worst, and be happy when it all comes off. Because the first show was very stressful. Once I pulled that off, I knew that I could do anything, and then I made the adjustments needed, similar to what I do in anything. And then I feel like that was a really, really fun and exciting show. And now I'm starting to as opposed to just winging it, I'm starting to build a formula. And with that formula, I think it's going to be able to run it enjoyably for the foreseeable future. So again, I'm going to run one a year at this stage. I'm not ruling out more than one until I know that there will be more fighters. But right now, I'm just going to work with what I've got, the gyms I have, that want to be on the show, which is growing exponentially. And then if I can put it together and run a really good event, I'm happy with that one a year. And then again we go and fight some of the other shows around Australia, especially some of those big ones. Eternal and Hex are always really good to work with. So jump on those again. Happy to go to Adelaide with Diamondback and whatever else pops up, or we end up in New Zealand again. Um, but that one a year really makes my fight team. We know we've all got a date. We know we're all going to have an opponent. It's that A side B side thing, and it's not about the matchups. The matchups are all still 50-50. But the fact is that we're matching for this person. So if someone pulls out, you're still going to have a match. You're not going to, lose the matchup if someone pulls through because you're not from that state. They're not going to fly you in to find another interstate. You're the hometown. So that's how I came through. I was very lucky with the Brace promotion, and Capital Fights, where I was the A side, and I was always treated very well, and I had opponents and some really, really great experiences being able to fight in my hometown in front of everyone and build up my reputation as a fighter, and who I sort of, and it's then I still get to reap the benefits of now to this day, all because the promotions were built tailored to try and build me as a fighter, not trying to get me not out on the road with me just trying to get a fight. They're trying to build me up as a fighter. And that's the same thing I'm trying to do: tell stories, build fighters, and create like something a bit bigger than it's been around in Canberra for a very long time.
Do you find the pressure probably harder when you're the home guy as well? So it's building
Uh,
those fighters there?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. So it's like there's more pressure, but it's also more like I feel like that pressure also can be used in your favor. I always liked it. Just you wake up in your own bed, you've got all, everyone egging you along. Again, for a lot of people there, you don't want to lose in front of all your friends and family. So uh yeah, if you know how to harness that good energy and utilize it, yes. You don't want to let it break you. But then, yeah, if you go fight somewhere else, and then you're probably going to be the opposite of that. You got to use that in your favor too. So it's the different scenarios, but there's definitely, I think, an advantage. But like you said, there's a few little moments, especially with me. I'm a bit of a stress head at times. I go, oh god, ooh, well, everyone's coming. But again, I always try to back it up and use that to use that to push me through. And for the most part, I will always encounter. I was always able to pull it off. So it's and there's no better feeling than getting a nice getting a win and getting a win in your hometown. Everyone going mental, and then having a bit of fun afterwards.
And you made a great point earlier that you're not just running the event, you're also the coach for all your guys there. Like, how helpful is it? Like, it was sad not seeing like Tommy Pratt fight. That how helpful is it having someone there to help coach your team while you're doing other things?
Very, very important. This, I think I'll probably have here in progression. We have the capability to run really, really good event. If we didn't have anyone fighting, we'd be able to have officials and everything. But we're nowhere near that stage because every single person from our gym, every coach, your Tom Pratts and your Robbins, they're all invaluable, especially in the few weeks when I'm stretched really thin. And with people like Robin that I can just rely on. I know that that I know that if I can leave this with you, and I know it's going to be something I don't worry about. And the same with Tom Pratt. And with those guys, my coaches, are all very experienced, and that creates like a very easy environment for me to be able to switch those hats between running an event and coaching a fight team really, really quickly. And again, not be as stressed as possibly I would be if I didn't have those guys. So it's really important to have a strong coaching, like having strong, not just yourself. You've got to be able to have like a good team around you. Callum here, obviously, Callum. Callum's a huge part of those shows. He's running the back of house. Again, if we didn't have Callum there doing that, and also, you know, making sure that when I'm not around at the gym, you've got Callum there to be able to make sure that everything goes smoothly there, and we get through these events, and it's great for everyone. But again, we couldn't do it without all the boys and everyone helping, and even like people like my beautiful fiance Alex was on the door taking tickets and that kind of thing. It goes a long way. My dad set the cake, built the cake, put it together, set it, packed it up. Yeah, all that. It's just it's my visions get to come to into practice, but it's definitely not just me doing it. It's everyone.
Yeah.
So
And that's one thing I've been enjoying the last few years is the progression of like Hex, Eternal, even your production value is really good quality. And we're watching it, seeing Cal in the background running around and everything. We played Spot Cal when we watched the last one, but such a
I think more fighters thank Callum than any other coach. so so that was always it's cool that he gets these flowers. But yeah, it's uh when it comes to production, there's just so many people that I feel don't give everything back to the fight scene that's giving them what giving them obviously profit.
Mhm.
If you can still make a profit and give back to the fighters and everyone by having good production and making sure everyone's fights are you sort of immortalized on film by and good quality, it goes a long way. I'm never going to have a dingy shit one camera. I'm going to spend the fucking dosh that I need to spend because, and it's a lot, but I'm not sparing any expense to that because that's the brand. And if you're not going to do that, those things there, they're my non-negotiables. I'm not going to run a show, so I can't have the lighting and the production, and everything to the level that it is. If it's any less than that, I'd rather not put my name on it, to be honest. And it's the same as the gym. If this was just a few mats in a room, I wouldn't want to put my name on it. Like honestly, as blunt as that is,
Yeah.
I've just trained. I've trained everywhere, and I've always found that if you got a room that's inspiring, well, then you're more likely going to come back to that room over and over and over and do the consistency that's required. Obviously, you can tell that I like highly stimulating
Yeah, I'm
green
looking at the
lights and
yeah,
sitting
looking at the
nightclub
fluoro
vibes.
lights behind you.
That's an expression of myself. And if I didn't have Fuji mats and the nice gym equipment, I wouldn't want to run a gym. Oh, I wouldn't want to do it. It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be Mickey Mouse. It's got to be. I think, and it's the same as the fight show. If I was running in some old shit ring or some old, the cage we have, I fully refurbed it. If I was in some old some canvas or hiring something without my logo on it, I just wouldn't want to do it. To be honest, it's so much more special when you do it this way.
Yeah, you feel that satisfaction and whatnot, the gratification of, like, being the best and doing the best. Like I've seen with your gym, you were one of the first gyms I'd seen with those, the mats that were the CJI.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Pit wall over there.
The pit
Yeah,
wall, that's it.
yeah. So well, that was all from the trials, the CJI trials. I went there and I lost, and I went, well, I've not experienced that, so I see this is coming in. Let's do it. And this is the benefit of it just being me making these big decisions that I get to make decisions. Maybe it might not be the best for the bottom line, but they're cool. And if you make everything cool, and I said this about the show, if you instead of trying to count your pennies, if you do what's cool,
Yeah.
pennies comes. They will. You do everything that's cool. Well, you just got to back yourself and back
Yeah.
your product, and then you end up, you still make your money, and you've got a sick facility, and no one thinks you're a tight ass.
Yeah, it is cool. And, on you, Duke, I've been seeing you at Parliament House. What was that about? You were with, Alex Volkanovski, Rob Whitaker, at the
Rubbing
front of
shoulders, eh? Rubbing shoulders with the some people that I didn't think I'd be rubbing shoulders with, especially at Parliament House.
yeah.
That was cool. The UFC Australia extended an invite to me. I think it was Cam O'Neill that suggested it, which I was very grateful to.
Yeah,
Put my
right.
name
Tim
up
O'Neill, who
from
runs the
Eternal.
Twitch.
Yeah, I think he put my name forward to the UFC Australia. That I've got a gym and a promotion here, so sort of as one of the representatives of what goes on here in Canberra in MMA. They were doing parliamentary friends of MMA. So they're trying to just make MMA a little bit more accepted to the mainstream,
Mhm.
especially as we all know how big it is.
It's something
But
that we
again,
really struggle with in Australia, like our media and things like that just don't push it.
yeah, and I've always had a bit of a chip when it comes to that. I remember it's just the way they used to be covered was they'd sort of denigrate
You'd
the
cop to it.
sport and then cover it. Like they'd say, "Oh, this." They'd have a little comment about MMA. Oh,
Yeah.
but it's horrible. Oh, it's very hard to. Then they'll comment on it, and just cover it like another sport because it is. But I
Mm.
was able to speak to some politicians, and I sort of just told my story that I started doing judo at 9 years old, 8 years old. 9. Started judo at 9, and then it took me all over the world. I then went over to MMA after my judo career with the Australian judo team was done. I went into MMA, and with that experience, I've got a very very rewarding full time job. I got a room full of kids and adults that all absolutely love the sport, and and I've got a secure future, and I've never been happier. All thanks to MMA. So,
Yeah.
when I told people that, they said that's pretty cool, and that was basically that's basically summed it up. That's when I told the head of the UFC Australia that, he goes, mate, that's amazing, and I'll please tell that to every single one here because we've got to build it up.
You were on your best behavior, you were just putting that story out and
Yeah, 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 yeah. I didn't want to cause a ruckus at Parliament House. That's the only second time I'd been there. I don't normally ask for photos with people, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to be here at Parliament House and all these amazing fighters. And I was like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm getting a photo at Parliament House with it was with Cole, Rob, and Vol.
Yeah,
Fucking
Mount
cool. That's
Rushmore of
cool.
Australian MMA, I reckon.
That's cool. Yeah. Now much more than me. Yeah, no, it was cool. Anyway, I was like, oh well, let's keep a good memory of this day. So, oh, it was awesome and cool, and it's cool to speak to so many people that are on the same wavelength
Mhm.
as me. So it's and it's reaffirming that yeah, that I'm not the minority, and then there's so many people that absolutely like the train alter program, that the heads of that were there, and there's so many people that are so passionate about what we do.
Yeah.
And I've seen firsthand how much this sport, and combat sports can help people, how much it grows kids into more confident kids,
Yeah.
and it definitely helps with anxiety, mental health, more fitness for one,
Yeah,
and
100%. I know
just
that from experience. That's why I went there and Amy went there, and like especially your gym, it caters for everyone. It's not just for the professionals or whatnot. It's for the casuals like me and my partner. So
no, thanks, Tobes, and that's the idea. That's what we're trying to run here. Is that the biggest sort of stereotype I've got to work with is people think, oh, it's just a bunch of fighters and they're not nice. And I
mm,
said two things: it's not just fighters, and we are nice.
yeah,
So
well, most of you. Yeah,
yeah, most of us are nice, and unless you get hilly on a weight cut, everyone's here's pretty happy. But nah, the progression for everyone. We've got all walks of life. We started 3 years old now, and I think we go up to. Well, my dad's 67, and he's training here. 67 in August, but yeah, he's training here, so we cover all bases. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And so your MMA career, are you going to continue on with that, or are you focusing on the grappling, or is that just helping you with your MMA goals? What does that all look like?
I keep the door open. I keep the door open. Look, it was just with the last couple fights in one, they both popped for performance enhancers. Uh, it's almost I got to where I wanted to get to, which was to fight overseas. I really would have liked a couple of wins overseas. I felt like I got one in that first fight,
Yeah,
but I
I thought you
didn't.
got one in the first one
And
fight
I
as well. So.
is what it is. The rule set's a little different over there. I don't ever want. I'm never going to retire ever. I'm never going to retire from anything. So I will keep the door open. If something
Yep.
comes along, it's the right thing for me. I'll take it, especially if it's cool. I probably, I'd probably have a few years if I wanted to.
Yep. Are you done with the local scene then, or is it only
Yeah,
international, or would you?
I'd fight in Melbourne again maybe, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't fight in Canberra. Um, you wouldn't fight in your own shows. It's
Yeah.
not very classy. So I wouldn't do that. But
Yeah.
you know, we have a crack and something comes up. But yeah, I love the grappling. I love the super fights that grappling has.
Yeah,
So
it seems
like,
like it's a lot more fun for you. Like I enjoy seeing you online talking a bit of shit and whatnot, and
yeah,
about your grappling match. It's not the same as the MMA one where you had a gorilla and jorts really bruise you up and beat you up. The grappling's a lot more fun.
100%. And it's like you get to scratch the itch without having to get punched in the head. So yeah, it's all right. It's happy days. So I don't. I'll always keep grappling and keep doing these things. And the way that sport's grown up, that's sort of blown up. I can just do that. So I'm just going to keep doing things and keep seeing what pops up. And just keep accepting every opportunity that comes my way, and then make sure I find if I'm not doing that, then that's when I start to not be. I'm not as like productive in my own life. I need to have something on my
Yeah, a goal
in
to
my
strive
future.
towards.
And then even if it's a small goal, I just need to reset that goal. And I've been doing that for 28 years. But if you constantly reset your goals, then it's hunky dory. So I worry about the day I can't do this because it's something it's all I know. And it's like, as grim as that sounds, it's a good thing. It just means that it keeps me accountable and on track. And the more, even if it's just a local tournament, it just makes me, it's when I feel most alive, and it's when I feel most in tune with myself. And, to some people, I think, oh, it's just state titles, or it's just a little comp over like interstate. I just feel like a test, and if you can pass the test, good, then look for another one. Um, and that's the whole idea about with competition. I just know that it's just what keeps me. I don't know, keeps me grounded, keeps me as one, and
Yeah.
then and then it makes me. I'm better on and off the mats when I do that. I feel better, I eat better, sleep better.
Before we wrap this up, tell us about your upcoming fight, and you mentioned at the top the ADCC trials as well. So let us know what we can expect from you in the coming weeks.
Yeah, so it's Fusion. I'm thinking of the main event. It's with an Anton Manenko. He's a beast. So um uh I've literally seen Anton Manenko flying armbar someone, jump their guard, break their shoulder, and then right in front of me. And so now I have to jump in the cage with him. Um he's he's a really, really good grappler, good bloke. Hopefully think I can think I can get it done if it's just in a cage. So I'm looking forward to it. It's a good challenge,
Mhm.
especially the lighter weight. So that'll be a bit fun. That's what those things are. They're a lot of fun. Um, and Fusion's put together a cracker card, so I'm looking forward to jumping on that.
A funny
And
story on Fusion, actually. We
yes,
paid for the last event that you were on,
oh yes,
and we were probably about 6 fights in until Amy goes, "Gee, the fights have been a little bit boring." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's
she has
just
worked out
grappling."
they're not MMA.
Yeah, because it's in the cage and everything. She thought it was MMA, and they were just all wrestlers. I'm like, "No, we're
Yeah,
watching grappling."
yeah. Watching grappling. That's That's all right. The combat jiu-jitsu is really good as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, that's how they've got on nearly 1,000 people for those shows. That just shows the power of the sport, and
Mhm.
especially in Melbourne. There's a place for everyone there. So it's pretty cool to be part of it, especially on some of the earlier shows and to see the growth of it. And then it's my good friend that runs that, Mateo, and to see what he's turning it into and what 100% in store for that is really exciting. So I love being part of that, and then I might just jump in the trials and see what happens there as well.
Yeah. Have you
That's I've never done
done
it before.
ADCC trials before?
No, I've never done it before. The rules. I know the rules is different. I'll see how the body is. If the body's good and fit, well, then there's no reason not to. Um, those guys are big, and a lot of them are good, but I don't know. I'm always in it, so see how it goes. See how it goes. Go in there and have a dig done, and then you know, no, nothing bad comes from having a crack.
Yeah.
Um,
Granted,
and
I was expecting you to talk heaps of crap and say how easy it was going to be. To be honest.
no, 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 neither. Not for this one. I'm not talking any shit in case I get my arm fucking wrapped around my head or my fucking or my foot ripped off. So I'm just gonna come in here quiet, humble, and prepared for a really, really good match. But I think it'll be entertaining. And there's a reason they've probably put it at the main event. We're probably the most experienced guys on the card, and then
Yeah.
also we match up really well. So I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a whole lot of fun.
Yep. Awesome. Duke, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you coming on.
My pleasure, Toves. I'll talk to you soon.
No worries.